Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, 815.
Good morning. My question for you today is, has screaming for ice cream actually ever worked? I'm Greg. He's Tom. This is your In Crowd 815 podcast for the 25th day of July, the year 2025, the latest it has ever been, my friend.
In the history of mankind. No, the only thing ice cream does for me is gives me an ice cream headache.
Don't eat it too fast.
Yeah. I scream after ice cream because of that ice cream headache. And you know how you cure the ice cream headache? It's really simple. You take your thumb, and you do that with it. And that will cure it because it hits instant warmth in the roof of your mouth. It's almost instantaneous, and it's so cool.
There you go. I've always pushed my tongue under
that little maneuver. No, I'm not.
I push my tongue.
That'll
under the
work
roof
too,
of my
probably.
mouth and see if that helps. It helps a little bit, but
that'll work too. That'll work too. But your tongue is also going to be cold because you're eating ice cream. So that's why the thumb works better.
Thumb might work faster. All right. Well, I think we got a good show for you, and maybe the person still sleeping next to you. So give a little nudge and say, "Wake up." Greg and Tom are talking. It's time to see what's going on with the In Crowd 815 podcast. We're going to be learning about Macktown living history with our friend Stephanie Hartman. I don't know if Sarah's going to join us or not, but we also invited the program lead out there, Sarah, to join us. We'll see if she can jump in. And then Stepping Stones of Rockford. What is it? What do they do? We'll learn about Stepping Stones of Rockford today as well. But before we get into that, we got some business to take care of first here. And our current race to 10 has me up by a score of 2-4. Our big number of the week, if you saw the graphic earlier, is not as big as usual, but it's a big number still. 14,000. There's your comma, Tom. 14,103.
There we go. Thank you.
Does it have something to do with Titanic?
I'm making my comeback.
Tent poles. Let me see. How did they do with the AI hints this week? Good. I think pretty good. I think pretty good. So put your guess in the comments. All right. 14,103. Guess either Titanic or tent poles. Tom has already sent me his guess on his phone, so I've got that, and we'll reveal the answer at the end of the show. Who knows? Maybe you win a shirt or a hat, or maybe lunch with the hosts of this podcast. It could happen. It could happen for you. You have better chances than the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. I promise you. Mm-hmm. Tom promises them too. Tom, I'm noticing now your camera, the difference in your camera, but I'm also noticing the difference in the audio. So I think the camera microphone is now being used on your system.
You think so?
Yeah. We definitely have a delay still. It's like about a 4 or 5 second delay.
Okay, so do you mean
that's
but the delay is for like the last couple of months or so. My good computer back hopefully this week. I'm open. Here's
open. All right, here's open. As we bring in our first guest today, I want to remind everybody that the next Masked Karaoke Trivia Contest is coming up on October 1st, 2026. We are going to be at the Tabala Event Center once again, but this time over $10,000 in prizes being given away to local not-for-profits, including an $1,000 grand prize for the winning team's not-for-profit, courtesy of Medicare 411. Thank you, Medicare 411, for jumping in and being an awesome sponsor again of our masked karaoke trivia contest. And as everybody seems to ask every time, do we have to be masked when we play this game, Greg? No. The masking portion of the masked karaoke trivia contest is the fact that the 12 teams playing, you'll know who their sponsors are. You'll know what businesses sponsored the team to play, but you won't know the not-for-profit they're playing for until the end of the evening. That's the portion that stays masked, so that the judges that are judging, they don't know which not-for-profit they're favoring or not favoring. They're just totally looking for the talent on the karaoke stage. And of course, our trivia master is simply judging what trivia questions are answered correctly. So if you want to get your team in, we currently have 4 teams in and room for 8 more. We only have room for 12. And before you ask why only 12, Greg, if we had more than 12, this contest would take all day. So we remember, every team is playing 3 rounds of trivia, and every team sings 1 karaoke song. So that's 12 songs. 12 songs and 3 rounds of trivia takes about 2 to 2.5 hours. If we add more teams, we'd be doing this game for hours and hours. And you know what? We're not into marathons here at the In Crowd 815 podcast. we like to try to keep things together well. So anywho, join us October 1st, 2026. If you don't want to play trivia karaoke, there are tickets available on our website that you can be a part of the audience and support this event and see this wonderful talent that we have here in the 815. You will be surprised. The 4 times we've done this contest so far, we have seen some amazing talent on the karaoke stage. It's been so much fun. And we've had some people who maybe couldn't sing very well, but boy, they sure could entertain. And we've had a blast. So come on out and join us October 1st, 2026 at Tabala events. More information is at incrowd815.com. All right. One more thanks as well before we get to our first guest, and that's thanks to Advice Marketing. They are sponsoring our $1,000 prize for the team that scores the highest karaoke score without winning the grand prize. So if your team has the highest karaoke score, the best karaoke singer of the night, according to our celebrity judges, but you don't win the grand prize, you'll still win $1,000 for your not-for-profit. So thanks to Advice Marketing for that. All right. Our first guest is joining us today from Stepping Stones of Rockford, and her name is Sue Schroeder. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning.
How are you this fine Saturday?
Not too bad for being this early on a Saturday.
Let's see if we can get Tom back on the stream here, and as he resets his screen. There we go. Good morning, buddy. I think we got you. There we go. So, Sue, we want to learn a little bit about you. Are you a native Rockfordian? Did you grow up here in the Rockford area?
I was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, moved to Freeport the summer between 7th and 8th grade, and graduated as a Freeport pretzel.
Oh, all right.
Went away to the University of Iowa, and don't hold it against me. Go Hawkeyes. But I've been back in the Rockford area since the late. There you go. Yeah. Since the early 80s. So yeah, and I've been here for a long time.
All right. So what was your thing at Freeport High School as a pretzel? What was your high school? Was there a club that you were involved in? Were you a band geek like me, or did you were in the choir? What was your thing at high school?
I started the girls' swim team. In 8th, 9th, and 10th grade, I swam on the boys' team. And finally, when I was a junior, they decided I wasn't going away, and we started a girls' swim team.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's still going today.
It is. They have an amazing team now. It has grown a lot. Yep.
That's
my claim to fame.
That's a great claim to fame. I love that. So after high school, have you gone back and done things with the swim team post college or anything like that? Is there any still connection there with you and Freeport Pretzels?
No, I follow their Facebook page, and we had a 50th reunion for the Park District team that we had in Freeport. At the time, they were called FAST. I think they've changed their name to something else now, but that was a lot of fun to get all of us who are old timers who, some of the kids that I taught how to swim when they were 8 and unders, I still kind of, I followed their career all through high school, but yeah, I don't do much anymore.
Okay.
Now,
Well,
now I follow the Tiger swim team. Living in Byron, I follow the Byron Tiger swim team now. So,
and Byron always seems to have good sports, no matter what the sport is. They seem to do pretty darn well down there in Byron.
Feels like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Good deal.
I think they're the reigning IHSA champions for their class, are they not? Did they win it last year?
Football.
In football,
I think they
yes.
did.
And baseball did very well
Football,
too.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So
yeah, football or baseball came close.
Well, we want to know. We thank you for letting us know about you. Now we want to know about Stepping Stones of Rockford. I'm going to put your website up here, Sue, and if you wish to direct me to go to any specific page, let me know. But for those who have never heard of Stepping Stones of Rockford before, what do you tell the people when you first meet them? Here's what we do.
Well, we are a community mental health center. We were founded in 1969, so we've been around for a long time. Until about 4 years ago, we were primarily known for residential treatment, serving individuals 18 and older, mostly in group homes and supervised apartment living, individuals who have a serious mental illness, and also are on state insurance rather than having private insurance. 4 years ago, the picture that was just up on the screen was the outside of our counseling center that we opened in 22. So there we now serve individuals down to the age of 6, providing outpatient counseling services. And again, our primary target is people on state insurance, Medicaid, the managed care companies. If you've got private insurance, you have a lot of choices of places to go to get help. But if you are have Medicaid as your form of insurance, you don't have as many choices in the Rockford region. So we try to fill that gap.
Okay. And how about how many people work for Stepping Stones? Do you have like a fairly large staff? Is there a lot of volunteers? Kind of what does the workforce look like at Stepping Stones?
When I became CEO 10 years ago, we were hovering around 90, 95 employees, and currently we're at about 155. So we have had a huge growth over the last 10 years. We don't use a lot of volunteers. The regulations make us jump through an awful lot of hoops for volunteers, with background checks and all the training and whatever. So it's mostly paid either full-time or part-time employees.
So if people did want to volunteer for your organization at all, is there something they could plug into or something they can do that doesn't require a whole lot of testing and whatnot?
There are a few things. We have our Stars of Light group, which has a spot that you can click at the top of the page there. They are a traveling theater troupe, working to kind of bust stigma in the community. The individuals who are a part of that troupe all receive mental health services someplace in the Rockford region, not just from Stepping Stones. We have a paid professional actor who's the director, and then Mary Lee is the producer. She's a volunteer, but we always are looking for volunteers to help out with them. They go to Rockford U and do presentations at the university. They're available for the Kiwanis and other civic organizations. They do presentations in the churches. So they will do a theater performance for 20 minutes or so, and then provide an opportunity for talk back with the audience, which is pretty cool to give. There's a lot of people in our community that don't believe they've interacted with somebody who has a mental illness, but they probably have.
If Tom can read this on the screen, I know it's probably a little bit small for him, but you collaborate with NAMI of Northern Illinois, which we've had on the program numerous times in the past. So it's one of the questions I usually ask organizations: do you do any collaborations? And there's NAMI right at the top of this page here with collaboration. That's cool.
Until about a year ago, NAMI always had their office in one of our Stepping Stones building. They recently leased a building that they are now creating into their own home office, which is very exciting to watch NAMI's growth. But my predecessor was one of the founding members of our local NAMI Northern Illinois. So we've always had a very close relationship with them.
It doesn't surprise us that they outgrew your space there, because they're doing a lot of work here in the Northern Illinois area. And what we've seen too over the years is how great the collaborations have been between the organizations that serve the mental health needs of our community. There's a lot of niche needs, and so many have seen to fill most of those niches anyway. And when something comes up in their organization where they're like, you know what, that's a need for sure, but it's not really our area of expertise, you need to go to SOS, you need to go to Marshmallows Hope, you need to go to NAMI. There's a great collaboration between all the organizations, it seems, here in the 815.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. And it's helpful that we kind of all know each other. And, Rockford is a small, big community. So yeah, most of us know each other, kind of know, we don't do a lot of substance use. So if somebody comes to us really needing that, then we refer to Rosecrans. And so, yeah,
great collaboration opportunities here in Northern Illinois. Looking at your resources now.
You're covering all the bases. Covering all the bases. That's so awesome.
Yeah, we certainly try to. And I think each of our organizations recognizes that we can't be everything to everybody. But, let's help people get to the place that they need to be to get the help that they need in that moment in their life.
Yeah, it's definitely great to be plugged into all the different organizations. And here's a bunch of resources here on your webpage. And we're looking at steppingstonesrockford.org. I'm going to put this link in the chat real quick here so people can find it very easily if they're following along. And we're getting some fun, goofy stuff on YouTube. Don't know who the crazy people are there, but okay. We're for those who I think I told this to Sue, but in case I didn't, thanks to the Restream platform that we use for our show, we can instantly go on YouTube and Twitch and Rumble and Facebook and LinkedIn all at the same time. So those are all, live streamed immediately as we do our recording of the podcast, and later we'll go up on Spotify and then whatever else that gets fed to, like Audacity, Audible, Odyssey, the Amazon pages, Apple, all that sort of thing too. So gets all over the place. A lot of different options for people, just like there's a lot of different options for people in the 815 as far as for mental health services go. So if someone feels the need for your services, do they need to do that themselves? Do they need to be referred? What is the normal process for someone to get plugged into a Stepping Stones program?
They can call our main office at 815-963-0683. And the receptionist will direct them to our admissions person, who is an amazing person named Rosie. And she will walk them through that process to help determine whether we are the right fit for them or not, depending upon what their needs are.
Okay. And if I understand correctly, you've got a new office that's being put together, or is it already ready on State Street?
We start to move in on September 8th. We've been in our current office building since 91, and with our growth, we have completely outgrown it. People have probably heard of bunk beds. We joke about bunk desks is kind of what we need in our current office. So we're moving into a much larger space, and we're going to be able to really expand our services for people who live in apartments and more independently in the community, but need a higher level of support than just seeing a therapist once a week or once a month. So we will be able to expand that. So we'll have more room to grow our administrative staff as well as our clinical offerings. It's a former Road Ranger headquarters on State Street, right at the entrance to Rockford University. So
yeah,
about 6 weeks of cleaning up and the last of the renovations. When I was in the building yesterday, they were still laying some flooring and putting on a second coat of paint. But it's getting close. And after we're done today, I'm heading to the office to do some packing.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's literally across from Uncle Nick's, right?
No, there's a Sherwin-Williams across the street.
Well, I don't mean across the street,
where-
across the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like next to it, and
No.
as you drive into the parking lot.
There's the SUNY Business School across the street, across the
entrance to Rockford University.
Yeah.
So there's the Sunil Puri Business School. There's that building behind, I think probably behind you. Is it the YMCA offices or something like that?
Yeah, the Autism Center.
Autism Center. So there's a lot going on right there. But hey, you're going to be on State Street. Pretty easy to find.
Absolutely. There's a bus stop right there, which is, the mode of transportation for many of the people that we see. So yeah, we're pretty excited. That will be another collaboration that we really hope to be able to develop is with Rockford University.
Absolutely. Lots of good things happening at Rockford University. In large part, thanks to Dr. Head. The things that he did while he was there was pretty amazing. And they continue that on there with all the different programs that they're offering there. So is there anything else that we want to make sure we focus on with our talk today that you were hoping to make sure to get out on the podcast? Is there any events, any services, any programs that we want to make sure that we highlight with you today, Sue?
Well, we're pretty excited. A couple of months ago, we opened a brand new group home with some funding from the Winnebago County Mental Health Board, which has been an amazing opportunity for us since the taxpayers voted for the half-cent sales tax. That funding source helped us open our counseling center in 22, and then our group home that we just opened a couple months ago, we were able to build from the ground up and designed it, and it is much more functional than the older homes that we convert into to residential settings for us. And then our new office building, the mental health tax dollars also helped purchase that building and do some renovating for it. So the pictures that you've got up now are some of our living environments. These buildings have 1-bedroom apartments in them, and we have staff on site 24 hours a day. So on our residential side, most often people will start in one of our group homes, become stabilized on medications, learn how to manage their illnesses, learn the activities of daily living that they need to know how to do to be able to live more independently in the community. And then they will move to the apartments that you had just shown, where they practice those skills all in their own units, as opposed to practicing them in a home with 8 other individuals or 7 other individuals. The building that you've got now, the River North building, everybody who lives there is 50 and older. So each of our settings kind of has their own flavor. Probably a better choice of words. But the people who live there tend to be similar. That down there at the bottom is actually our River North building. And at River North, they're all 2-bedroom units. But again, 50 and older, have staff there from 7 in the morning till 10 at night. And we've got a night watch person overnight in the building, just keeping an eye on things.
Okay. Is this pretty much considered something that's a long-term situation, or do people graduate out of a living situation like this? What kind of is the life cycle, if you will, of a person who would be living in a situation like this?
Well, much like our name, clients come in and kind of go through the stepping stones of levels of care. So they'll typically start in a group home and then go to one of the supervised apartments, and then we'll move into an apartment in a community with less supervision, but still, pretty close supervision, and then we'll move independently in the community and might move to our counseling center and see a therapist once a week or once every other week. So they really do move through levels of care. The most independence is always the goal. Some people, because of the seriousness of their illness, remain in a group home for many years, and others move through pretty quickly. Depends upon, the individual and their illness and how they respond to treatment. And
well, there's a lot of information. You have a beautiful website. Whoever designed your website, kudos to how they put this together. It's very well done. Stepping Stones, Rockford.org. Lots of resources here for people to utilize. Is there an upcoming? I'm looking for like an events page or something like that. Is there anything events or something wise that we want to make sure we talk about before we move on to some trivia with Tom and our next guest?
Well, our current date for our open house at our new building is October 29th.
Okay.
In the afternoon, but I couldn't tell you what time because I'm not sure that we have completely decided on that. Our person who does a lot of that is working with the mayor and his schedule, because we really like it when the mayor can join us for our groundbreaking or our grand opening events. But that is the next event we've got coming.
All right. Well, everyone check out steppingstonesrockford.org. Follow along there. Here we go. Facebook. We've got a Facebook page too. So I'll put that in the chat as well. This is probably a good place as well to keep tabs on what's coming up next.
We've been putting up pictures of our construction as we've been going along. So there's a fun picture of an office that's filled with boxes as we're preparing to pack up our current office.
Oh, there we go. There
Isn't
we
that
go. This is called moving.
It certainly is.
It's like a lot of work.
As a realtor, I've seen things similar to this. This is a little extreme, but then again, this is an office situation, not a house. So
an office that we've been in for almost 40 years. So there's an awful lot of stuff to move.
We should probably thank someone for donating a lot of these boxes to help you move.
Amazon has been very helpful with a number of employees who shop Amazon.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Well, we sure appreciate you being on with us today, and don't go anywhere because we're going to need your help with some trivia transition with Tom here, and we'll bring on our next guest after I play this thing right here.
It's time for Tom's Trivia Challenge on the In Crowd 815 podcast. Good luck.
All right. We have Stephanie on from Macktown Living History. Thanks for coming on, Steph.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. We can, let's see, go back to my chat. Take this off the screen and then give Tom the floor with our questions of the week. We're playing together as a team. I'm going to put you ladies up here at the top of the screen. But Tom's got 7 questions for us. I like to get more than half of them right. My goal is to at least get 4 or 5, and I'm pretty happy for the weekend. So what do we got for us, Tom?
All right, so I'm bottom left. You know what that makes me? Cindy Brady.
Here's a story.
There will be, yeah. Yes. All right. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Mr. Greg. One of the things about trivia that I always point out is that these questions are not designed to make you go, oh my God, I suck at trivia. Because nobody sucks at trivia. Seriously, nobody does. Everybody knows, we're all educated people, period. That's enough said. Everybody knows the answers to these questions and a lot of other questions. Sometimes recalling them is difficult. That's why the whole team here, 3 of you, will succeed. I know you will succeed. Greg always says, I hope we get 4. No, I hope you get 7. But I'll settle for 6 or even 5. But not 4. Come on now. Let's do better than that. All right. It's a mixed bag of stuff. It's a mixed bag. So, all right, here we go. You ready? All right, question number
bring it
1.
on.
What is the capital of New Mexico? The first 3 questions are always 50-50. Is it Albuquerque or Santa Fe? Once again, what is the capital of New Mexico? Is it Albuquerque or Santa Fe?
I think it's Albuquerque.
I can't spell Albuquerque, but I would guess it's the capital.
And my first thought was Santa Fe. So it's 2-1. You can go with Albuquerque.
Sometimes the first thought is always the best, but I'm just saying. Anyway, so what do we got? What do we decide?
L.B. Kirky.
No, that was a little hint. It's Santa Fe. Her first thought.
No.
This is what I was talking about.
All right.
Okay.
One wrong.
Sorry about that. Santa Fe.
I was just there in October, so that was why I loved Santa Fe. I would move to Santa Fe in a heartbeat after visiting there.
I've heard good things about Santa Fe. A friend of mine traveled from California to taking Route 66, I believe. Well, maybe not. And she said, "Oh my God, Santa Fe was awesome. It was awesome.
Yep.
I want to go." New Mexico is one of the 50 states I haven't been to. I've been to 27 of them. I got a few on the West Coast I got to make. Anyway, all right. What is the only animal that can't jump? Is it a hippopotamus or is it an elephant? Once again, what is the only animal that can't jump? Is it a hippo or an elephant?
I'm fairly certain an elephant can jump.
I would say hippo.
I think it's the hippo.
Hippo feels okay.
No!
It's an elephant.
Oh my goodness.
So do we win a prize if we get 7 wrong?
That's a good call right there. Let's see if we get all 7.
I'll let you take home Snoopy. How's that sound? No, I can't. I can't get rid of my Snoopy. Greg got this for me, by the way. You can blame him. He was the one that gave me the idea on these 2 questions. They'll get easier.
Okay.
From there. All right.
Hippos can
Sorry
jump,
for throwing
everybody.
you under the
Ladies,
bus there,
hippos
Snoopy.
can jump. That's what we learned today.
Yes, they can. And hippos are mean and fast. They can go like 30
I know they're
miles an hour.
fast.
Oh, they can run 30 miles an hour. So, all right. So here we go. What is the largest river in the world? Is it the Amazon or the Nile? Once again, what is the largest river in the world? The Amazon or the Nile?
Before he gave us the choices, the Nile was what came to mind, but I don't have any idea.
Come on, Nile. Let's
too.
go with Nile.
All right. The Nile is not just a river in Egypt. It's also something a lot of people do. Denial. The Nile. You're correct. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. We still got a shot at 5 here. All right.
All right.
What is the only letter that does not appear in any state name? So take all the vowels out, figure all of only the obscure ones. And we're talking about the 50 state names. So that one should be easy. I'll give you as much time as you need to work on it. Well, relatively speaking.
Is there a state that has a letter X?
Is it Q? Mexico, New Mexico.
New Mexico, yeah.
Mexico.
I think it's Q, right?
So Q.
Yeah, it is Q. It is.
All right.
Good job,
Very
Stephanie.
good. Very good. Q. Yeah, all you really had to do is go through the ABCs and figure there's an M, there's an N, O, P, Q. Q. There you go. Good job. Good job. All right. Now, along the same lines, I think I was playing around with the dictionary or something. What is the most common letter in the English language? This one should be easy.
E.
I was gonna guess E.
Oh, was that kind of a hint? It was an easy one. I had no problem giving you a hint on it. Probably would have come up with it anyway. So yes, it is letter E, the most common letter. And the second most common is Z. No, I'm kidding. Maybe if you're in Germany. Maybe. All right. Now, here is the one themed one. And I apologize, Stephanie, because I did not know that you're going to be here today. So, I mean, maybe I did, but I didn't know enough time or whatever. So it has to do with stepping stones, sort of. Who sings the song I'm not your stepping stone? Who sings that song? I may have to jump in on this one. It's a 60s tune, and it's a really good song.
Yeah, it's a 60s tune.
Not your stepping stone.
Oh man, I'm always so bad with artist names. I can remember song titles, but artist names.
So Greg Saunders, the guy that has been a DJ for, I don't know, 35 years or whatever, and DJs weddings and everything else. It's not the music guy that think he is. No, I'm just messing.
No,
you're not terrible. You're not terrible. You just don't have that same kind of music thing that a lot of people do. I don't know. Anyway,
I rely on the screen.
If that's your only bad quality, you're a heck of a guy. You are anyway.
So 60s bands like Herman's Hermits or the Dave Clark Five, or
you're getting there. You're getting there. Keep going. Keep working through them. I'm going to let you just kind of
60s bands. I'm
trying to think of a hint that would kind of help you out, but that wouldn't qualify me to have to give you only half point or something.
Yeah,
maybe you could sing a little more of it for us, Tom.
Oh, I don't think that's a good idea.
That's not a good.
I'm not your stepping stone. You've heard
YouTube
song,
will shut
right?
us down if we get it too right. Yeah, I know the song. I know the guy's voice. But
there were 4 in the group. I'll tell you that much.
It wasn't the Beatles.
No, but you're kind of on the right track.
Wasn't the Monkees?
Monkees, yes. We have a winner there. There's your 5.
Whoa.
No, there's your 4.
Nice. Sue?
Yeah.
Seriously? That's the right answer?
Honestly, yes, it is the right answer. Honestly, I picked that because it's stepping stones, but I honestly thought Greg would nail it. Sorry, Greg. I gave you way too much credit there.
Well, the Monkees had some hits. That's not one I ever attribute to them, though. Last Train to Clarksville and some of the other stuff that sounded like the Beatles, but Stepping Stones sounded different than almost, the Beatles. So anyway,
go back
all
and
right,
listen
good
to
job,
it again,
Sue.
and you'll hear nothing but Monkees. Yeah, you will.
All right.
But anyway, okay, final one. All of you should get this one. I deliberately made this one really easy. It's local trivia. Who is currently the longest tenured alderman in Rockford? I'm giving you a hint there, he has held the position since 1981.
I do know this answer. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna wonder if Sue or Stephanie knows who's the longest tenured alderman in Rockford.
Go for it, Greg.
It's maybe just a little bit surprising that he never became like a congressman or something like that, because he's served the city so long. I imagine at some point somebody asked him to do an office elsewhere, but he's so focused on the community that I guess it doesn't really surprise me too much that he didn't go on to another office. But it's got to be Frank Beach.
It is Frank Beach. And Frank is a nice guy. I've met him once or twice. Super guy. His daughter is absolutely amazing, Jody. She is absolutely amazing. When I was at the other station across town, it was NTA at the time, she had come on with us several times with her band, and she would play on the air. It was just her and her piano, but I think she brought somebody with like a bass guitar or something. But anyway, Frank Beach. So you guys, you went 5 and 2.
We'll take the 5 points.
You did. A little bit of help. You had a little bit of help on Monkees one. I gave you some grace there, but that's okay. That's okay. You did all right. Sometimes
considering the way we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. I play trivia. I host trivia a couple of nights a week, and I play trivia on Tuesday nights. Greg and I just played on Tuesday, and he came to my trivia on Wednesday. And some nights we win, and we win big, and some nights we lose, and we lose big.
We have a good time. Okay. Louis Tap House up in Roscoe every Wednesday night at 7. So it's a good couple of hours of fun, and they got great food up there too. So you can't go wrong to just hang out with some friends and see what you know.
Absolutely. Ladies, I have one final question for you. that Greg and I, this was our final question for all the marbles. We were leading, we bet it all, and if we get the answer right, we win it all, which is, that's why you do that. On the TV show King of the Hill, what is Hank Hill's wife? Her name is Peggy. What is Peggy's profession? Any ideas?
I can honestly say I've never seen 1 second of King of the Hill. I have no idea.
I have not watched it.
What about you, Stephanie? Okay.
No.
All right. Go ahead, Greg.
The question that they originally asked was, what town is the show Bob's Burgers, the fictional town that Bob's Burgers is located in? And nobody in the room knew the answer. So we got a second chance. But we were leading by 1 point over the whole room, and we bet all of our points. That was tough.
And then, so did everybody else. Everybody, yeah. Sorry, Greg, it's that delay. It's driving me nuts too. But next week, hopefully, my computer will be back. But anyway, it was Seymour's Bay is what it was. Nobody knew it. That's a bad question. So he gave us an alternate question, which was the one I just asked you. The answer is, we put down teacher. We were correct. She is a teacher. But he was looking for a substitute teacher, and specifically substitute Spanish teacher. I did tell, I said respectfully, I said, if you would have said we need to be specific, we would have been more specific. He said he would have taken substitute teacher. We even said, a couple of us said, no, substitute teacher, right? Yeah, teacher is good, I guess. We kind of all agreed on it. Anyway, all right, that's it. I've probably vented now.
Did anyone get it right then, down to the specifics?
Yeah. There were two teams that did get it right. There were 2 teams, so and they split. They had to figure out with another tiebreaker who took first and second. We were first. Those 2 teams were tying or going second and third, sort of. But since we had missed one, then they became 1 and 2, and then they had to fight it out for place. And I don't remember what that question was. Didn't care. I was.
We were bummed.
Yeah. What was it, Greg? Do you remember?
The final question had something to do with how many something, and the answer was like nearly 200. I can't remember what it was, but it was, yeah.
So lesson learned, specific answers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Be specific. Yeah. How specific
we
do we need to be?
Said substitute teacher, and we should have put it down. And I was the one that wrote it, so I should have put it down. I should have, because you know what? More information. It's always good.
And it was relevant because the King of the Hill show is back. Hulu has brought it back after it was off the air for 10 years or something like that. It's been a while since they made new King of the Hill shows, and now it's back on Hulu.
I know you
the
ladies
kids are older.
You ladies have never watched it, but the funniest line in that whole thing is Hank Hill to his son Bobby's room, and he's got a cheerleader outfit on, and he goes, "Bobby, there better be a naked cheerleader under your bed." oh my God! I almost rolled off the couch when I saw that.
On that note, Sue, we'll let you go.
No longer a family show. I'm so sorry. Wow.
We just took the PG-13 off of our wrapper here on YouTube. Well, you have a great rest of your weekend. We'll look forward to catching up with you again, especially as you have events and stuff down the line. We want to help you promote those things. So make sure to keep us in the loop. All right, Sue?
We'll do that. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity this morning.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Well, we love you.
Bye, Sue.
Yep. Bye-bye now.
Bye, Stephanie.
Have a good one.
All right. Let's get Stephanie in the hot seat now for Macktown living history. There's probably going to be somebody watching this today, Stephanie, who's met you through Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum because that's your full-time gig. But they're like, oh, you're not just involved in that. You're also involved in Macktown living history. So before we get into how that happened, let's learn a little bit about you. Are you a native Rockfordian? Did you grow up here in the 815?
I did, yes. So my love and affinity for historic buildings goes way back. I went to Jackson Elementary School, which if you're from the Rockford area, you know, it's one of the oldest. It turned, I think, 75 when I was in elementary school. And then I went to Lincoln and then East, go Earabs.
Oh, wow. You got 3 of the oldest schools in Rockford.
I sure do.
Jackson may actually be the oldest school now because they tore down Walker and they tore down a couple of Rock River's gone, a couple of the really, really old ones. So yeah.
New Milford's now gone.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
might
but that
take the
wasn't
cake now.
quite as old. Yeah, I think it does.
It's
It does.
pretty old. So you're an ERAB. You graduate from East, and what was your thing in high school? Did you have a thing that you really liked doing in high school? A choir, band, business clubs? What was your thing?
Yeah. So in high school and middle school, really, I did theater. I loved that. I was really lucky when I was at Lincoln. Mr. Crow was there, who, if anyone that went to Auburn or anything would know that name. He was an amazing theater teacher. I actually did go to Auburn for a hot minute. My freshman year, I was in the Kappa program, but all my friends went to East, so I convinced my mom to let me go back over to East.
That's cool. You want to be with your friends.
Yeah, looking back, maybe not the best decision, but
no. But Mr. Crow, shout out to Mr. Crow.
Yes, he has since passed, I believe, but an amazing theater teacher in the Rockford region.
Anyone with some fond Mr. Crow memories, throw in the comments.
Yes, Jim Crow.
Yes, I met Jim, and I said, Jim, you got possibly the worst name in the history of names. Because he laughed.
Absolutely.
Because, I get that a lot. I remember that short little guy, really nice guy. Yes, he was good.
Yes,
he was good.
Yep.
Once you
please
said
call me James.
That I said, oh, that's right. I know him. Yep.
Yeah, if you nailed your lines and the whole cast was doing really well, he'd do his happy dance, if you will, and it just was a silly little dance. And at that age, we're like, oh no! But looking back, just such a fond memory.
I can't unsee that. Yeah. Exactly.
No.
Well, so post high school, what's kind of your career arc that led you into doing what you're doing today?
Yeah, so I'm really lucky. I've only had 2 jobs ever. So I've been at Lino's of Rockford, another staple, since I was about 16. And then I was very fortunate to go to RVC, then transfer over to NIU to get my bachelor's in anthropology. While there, I interned at Tinker in 2018. And I got very fortunate. The executive director who was there at the time, Steve Littoral, ended up moving to, I think, Nashville or somewhere in Tennessee.
He's a Tennessean now, yeah.
Yeah. So Samantha Hartman moved up to executive director, and I was fortunate enough to be offered the position of director of education. So I've been at Tinker since 2018. Since being there, I've also gone back to school at Rockford University and got my master's in education. And now I'm the director of collections and content management over there.
Okay. So if you're following, if you're not following Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum and Gardens on the socials, Instagram and Facebook and stuff, you need to do that. And you'll see lots of videos of Stephanie saying, here's our Tinker topic this week. Here's this, there's a lot of interesting things, not just about the Tinker family or the Dorr family or the cottage, but of a lot of different things. You recently got a trip to Hawaii.
I did. Yes. So, if anyone's familiar with the Native American Graves and Repatriation Act, or NAGPRA, it is a way for Native peoples to get back things that were taken from them, generally in the early United States history. So the Tinker family had some artifacts that were Native Hawaiian. They weren't taken, but it was decided by the Tinker team, as well as people that we were working with in Hawaii, that they would be more useful there for educational purposes. We had a kapa, which is a cloth that there just aren't very many examples of anymore. And ours was about 6 foot long. And it was amazing to talk with the people there and see how much they really needed that to teach the next generation. So it was clearly the right thing to do. So getting to work with Hawaiian individuals to repatriate some of that stuff and make videos over in Hawaii, because if you're not familiar with the Tinker family history, the family lived there in the 1830s and 1840s. And then Robert Hall Tinker and Mary Dorr Manny Tinker would go back in 1870 for their honeymoon. So long history with Hawaii. And the islands are absolutely beautiful. Highly would recommend, if you ever get the chance, go.
I got really close last year, and I didn't have the time to go see it, which I was a little bummed about. But if you ever get a chance to go to Hawaii, check out the mission that is there. Hylia. What was the name of
the organization that we repatriated to?
Yeah, and the mission, the museum or whatever that they have there on the island.
So the Mission Houses Museum is near Honolulu, and that is where you could find some artifacts that relate to the Tinker family directly. So they have a skirt that was Robert Tinker's mother's, as well as Robert Tinker's father, Reuben Tinker's journals. And in there's some really neat sketches of like whales that he saw and things of that nature. And then they also have like a hairpiece that was Robert's mother's, and it was gifted to her by a queen of Hawaii at the time.
Nice. Fun. All right. So enough about Tinker. Let's slip into Macktown living history. For those who have no clue what Macktown living history is, what do you tell them when you meet people for the first time? What is it?
Yeah. So Macktown living history is a historic site in Rockton, Illinois. It was founded in the 1830s by Stephen Mack and Hannah Niga. Oh, there we go. The family lived there for a number of years. They had 11 children, 9 of which survived to adulthood. The site was, really kind of a booming little town for a while there in the 1830s. There were, I think at its height, they recorded 50 different residents there and about 200 and something people living there. There was a bridge that connected it to the other side of the water, which is modern day downtown Rockton area. But unfortunately, the bridge ended up falling in the 1840s and the settlement just kind of diminished. So if you go there now, you can go see authentic 1830s buildings. So there's the Whitman Trading Store, there's the Mack House and the Stevens buildings. Yep. Oh, so the little brick one you see there, that is the Whitman Trading Store. And then we do all sorts of events all year long where we bring in interpreters. So you can get to know a little bit more of that early Rockford region, Winnebago County settler lifestyle. Stephen Mack was a fur trader, so you can learn more about that. There were soldiers that lived here at different points of time. Hannah Niga was a Native American. There's a little bit of discourse about what tribe exactly she was related to, but certainly a Native American in the region. And there's both historic and prehistoric things on this site. There have been archaeological digs aplenty, and we still do them currently. So if you're interested in that, I highly would recommend coming out in September when we'll be doing some special archaeological stuff. But they have found things dating back thousands of years at this site.
Rockton's got quite the interesting history, doesn't it? It's interesting to see that it could have been Rockford. You know what I'm saying? It could have. Yeah. It was that at that point in the geography of Northern Illinois that had that bridge lasted longer, had things. Maybe the trail had gone through Rockton instead of where Rockford is now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got that waterway, which is such a pivotal part for those early settler societies.
So Macktown, obviously Stephen Mack. At some point, somebody said, "Let's call this Rockton instead." Do you know the story of anything about that change?
Oh, I'm not sure. So actually, when they first moved there, it was called the Pecatonique because it was on the Pecatonic River. And then ended up being called the Macktown Settlement. On the other side, forgive me, I'm terrible with cardinal directions. So on the other side of the river where Rockton is, that is where Walt Whitman started kind of building over there. I'm not really sure how they ended up on the name Rockton, though. I've not heard that story.
Okay. We're looking for that story. How did Macktown become
if anyone
Rockton?
knows.
Somewhere there's a story on that somewhere.
Yes, absolutely.
So, it seems that Macktown living history has had, what's the word? It's just a pickup in interest overall in the last few years. And the organizations just build a building or inherit a building recently or something that's kind of gotten more attention? Am I missing something on that? Event space or something?
We haven't built anything real recently. The newest addition was the education center. And I want to say that was in the early to late aughts, if you will. But it's a really lovely center, and it's great for hosting parties, special events. A lot of the events at Macktown start over there. That's where the gift shop is. And it's got like a little kitchenette area. It's got working restrooms. So it's a great rental space. And then you can make your way down the pathway to go see the actual historic buildings on site.
Okay. All right. So it looks like maybe the next thing on your calendar, September 13th, as far as
Yes, we've got our Stephen mac and cheese cook-off. So a little fun play on the words there. So we are inviting local businesses to supply tasting samples of their best mac and cheese, and visitors will get to be the judge of that and figure out who really does have the best mac and cheese. So it's just a fun way to get people out to the site and support Macktown. And, you know, all that money is going right back into the programs and events hosted at Macktown.
Nice. Good deal. Good deal. Well, let's throw up here your Facebook page as well and make sure people can follow along.
Yes, absolutely. And I do always like to point out Macktown is totally volunteer run. So there is no staff. So we're always looking for more volunteers. If you are interested in either history, prehistory, archaeology, anything really. They're always looking for more volunteers and interpreters and people to help with running the site.
Okay. Okay. As far as the history of the organization goes, what can you tell us about the history of the organization? Was there ever an employee that you're aware of, or has this always been a volunteer led effort?
I'm not aware of any employees ever. I know that originally, I believe it was all the Rockton Historical Society at one point. Okay. And at some point way in the past, Macktown Living History and the Rockton Historical Society kind of separated into two different entities. So when you visit Rockton, there is actually a Rockton museum that you can visit that is different thing from Macktown Living History. But yeah, I'm unaware of any paid staff members in its history.
Okay. Okay. Well, if somebody wants to help out, there's again links on the chat for MacktownLivingHistory.org and the Facebook page that we're looking at right now. Events coming up here October 23rd and 24th.
Yes, Lincoln and Liberty. Lincoln and Liberty is so cool. If you visit that weekend, you're really going to feel like you've been taken back in time. I feel like it is such a good representation of that era of history. And there are so many different interpreters showing all different life ways from that time. So you can walk around all over the grounds. There'll be tents set up with different people showcasing just different aspects of that era of history.
Nice. Very funny. Are you looking for actors or anyone else to help with that, or is that already set?
Oh, I'm sure we are always looking for more interpreters. The more, the merrier.
All right. All right.
So definitely send us a message if you're interested in that. Also, I should say we're always looking for people who are interested in costuming. That can be a difficult one. The Amazon dresses don't always do it. So having people that are into sewing and know how to do those things is a wonderful gift to have for historic sites. So if you've got that skill set and you're interested, please send us an email.
We're looking for costumers. Yep. Go ahead, Tom.
Well, the building that we're seeing that was built in the 1830s, did you say?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so that is
incredible.
What has been called the Whitman Trading Post in the past, and I think that might be still what the sign says, but now we refer to it as the Whitman Store. Minor changes.
Okay.
Yes, so when you go into that building on the far right door, there it's set up like an actual little store in there. It's so neat. There's all sorts of like vintage things that you can purchase. It's great.
It's always fun to drive through Rockford and see the handful of these buildings that are just made out of stones, like the Dairy House ice cream, that old building out of that stone building it's
and Macktown is just about 5 minutes away from Dairy House. So, next time you're grabbing some delicious ice cream, stop on by. And you can always walk the grounds, sun up to sundown. You don't have to, pay for a tour or anything for that. We have little walking tour guides that you can take, and there's plenty of signage around. So feel free to go check it out anytime. We love being tagged in people's pictures and seeing that, they went out for a morning hike and they saw some sort of animal out at the site. It's always fun to see.
That's cool. Welcome to Macktown, a place where history comes to life. Macktown Living History, always open. Freeport Road, 2221 Freeport Road.
Right next to the golf course also, so play a little golf, stop by.
Well, Greg and I have been known to swing a few clubs here and there.
Yeah, there are some of the what's the term? I don't golf. Some of the holes that are like butting right up to Macktown. You can see the golfers on their golf carts as you're walking through the site.
You can see the Red Barn Golf Course to the south there on Wagon Wheel Road, and then the Macktown Golf Course right there. That's basically surrounds the Macktown Historic District here.
Yes.
And your location, are there houses in this, or the forest preserve is all, there's no houses in the forest preserve?
There are, sorry, I'm blind. There are houses that are right to the right. Well, I guess it's not. If you're coming from the way that I usually drive.
Indian Trail, over here on Indian Trail, I think there's some
there are
condos
a couple over
there.
Yes.
Behind the China Palace, if you've ever been to the China Palace on Route 75.
Exactly. On that side, there's a couple houses.
Okay. And then
it's a beautiful site. And then you can walk right up to the river, get gorgeous views over there.
Over here, I think, is the church by the side of the road.
Yes. Yep.
Right. The little tiny church, which I'm surprised it's not. There it is. Old Stone Preschool. There it is. Church by the side of the road. I wasn't kidding. Yes. There's the church by the side of the road at School Street in Black Hawk.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys remember the wagon wheel. My mom has told fond stories of it, but that was right up here.
I absolutely do. We spent some time there, and I think it burned down in early to mid 80s, and then they tore the whole thing down about 5 or 10 years later, I believe.
Yes, but I think that the church was part of that at one point in time, or like close to on the property.
Okay, that would make sense. I've seen photos of the grandeur of what was the Wagon Wheel Resort back in the day, and they had an ice skating. They had an ice skating rink. What was her name? Janet Lynn. Yeah, practice there for the Olympics at the Wagon Wheel.
Yeah, it's so neat. Like when you were talking with Sue about just how interconnected the Rockford community is and all of these things. Macktown is part of the Small Museum Summer Pass, which is a really neat program we're doing this summer. It goes from May 1st through September 1st. There are 7 local historic sites on this Small Museum Summer Pass. And if you visit all 7, you just get a signature at each spot. Then you turn your pass back into the Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum, and you'll be entered for a chance to win a prize.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Just a good way to benefit all of our local museums. We have so many great ones here in the Rockford region.
It's very common to have a conversation with someone and find out that they've never visited Midway Village Museum or never visited Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum and Gardens. And it's like, I've lived here all my life. I'm 40, 50 years old or whatever. And they're like, why haven't I visited these places? Well, make this the summer, the fall, to go out and see these places that you've never been to, or maybe you've only been to once as a kid, and see what's out there. There's so many interesting things to see and do. And Macktown Living History is one of them up there in Rockton. So check that out. I like to play around a little bit with AI to get some questions for our guests. So you're going to be our AI questions of the week here, Stephanie. All right.
Ooh, okay.
They'll probably be easier than the trivia questions.
Fingers crossed.
I told Gemini I was interviewing Stephanie Hartman, part of Macktown Living History, and was looking for some good questions. So Gemini said, here are 3 high energy questions tailored for your podcast interview with Stephanie Hartman, Vice President of the Macktown Living History and Director of Education at Tinker Swiss Cottage. So the first question says, this is the what if and Stephen Mack vision question. Stephen Mack had his massive, ambitious dream for Macktown back in the 1830s that was cut short. From digging into his personal letters and records, what was his ultimate vision for this spot at the confluence of the rivers, and what surprises people most when they learn how close it came to being the main hub of the region?
I think that's just it. He had such a big vision for the site, and like we kind of discussed earlier, he wanted it to be what Rockford ended up becoming. He wanted it to be a hub of economy and industry, and he helped start the first school in Winnebago County right at Macktown. He wanted the next generation to be more educated, and he just had such high hopes. So it is such a shame that due to the bridge collapsing, and also around that same time was Hananiga's passing, and she, from some of these letters and from the obituary, she was kind of like the lifeblood of the site. She had the heart, and she pushed him to kind of pursue his dreams of building this amazing site. So I think when she passed away, that really aided in the decline.
I've been having a lot of conversations lately about how the fact that human education, human intelligence is not a linear thing that goes like this. It's not a line on a graph that keeps getting better, more and more and more. It goes like this because of the people that are alive and when they die. And like Tesla, when Nikola Tesla died, some amazing ideas and inventions died with him because nobody knew what he was talking about. He was way beyond us.
Right, exactly. If you can't decipher his writings, then you're like, well.
We still don't know how they built the pyramids in Egypt or Machu Picchu or all these places. It's like the people that knew how to do that, the knowledge died with them, even though they probably tried to pass it down. It just was beyond a lot of our human capabilities. So,
Right.
yeah, so it's to hear the story of Hananiga passing. When she passes, kind of the vision dies with her. That makes sense to me now. It didn't make sense to me 10 years ago, I guess, but it's making more sense to me as I get older and realize, yeah, intelligence of humans is not linear. It's very, I think the word might be static. It's very static. It's going to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors.
The second question it gave me, archaeology and hands-on discovery. Macktown is not just a static museum where you look through glass. You actually have active archaeological digs uncovering thousands of years of Native American and early settler history right out of the dirt. What's the coolest or most unexpected artifact that you've seen that's been pulled out of the ground here at Macktown?
Okay. There's been many like arrowheads, which are always really cool. It's just neat to see that. But there was also a ring that was found a couple years ago when we had it on display for a while. I'm not sure if it's currently on display, but it was really neat to see just like an early metal ring. We just don't really think of that always when we're thinking about prehistoric times. So that was really neat to see.
Okay. So something out of the 1800s anyway, or?
Yes. Yep.
Late 1800s, a ring. Okay. All right. And then finally, community energy and Macktown After Dark. Okay. Between Macktown Sundays, hands-on field trips, events like Macktown After Dark, you're constantly bringing history to life for new generations. For someone in the State Line area who's driven past Freeport Road 100 times but never stopped in, what's the single experience that turns a first-time visitor into a lifelong fan? Maybe it's something that happened to you, Stephanie, and that's why you're involved. I don't know.
Right. So Macktown After Dark was an event we held last year. It was our primary fundraiser. It was a lot of fun. It's something we'll probably do every other year, but it was wonderful. I would say what I think is such a a big part of people coming back again and again is getting to interact with the reenactors and watching them in real time. I got to see a gentleman take just like a piece of iron and turn it into a really cool, like it was like a key hook that he made, and it had leaves and so much detail to it. And I'm watching this guy do it in real time with just like a little chisel and like heating it up. And that's such a unique experience that you can't get everywhere. And that it's like a dying art, people don't do that anymore. Working with your hands is something that is just less and less common. So getting to see things like that and sometimes getting to participate in activities like that is such a neat experience, especially for the younger kiddos that are coming in, that next generation. To be fully immersed like that is something you can't find everywhere.
I think there's a guy that's been doing that the last few years at the Winnebago County Fair in Pecatonica. So
okay,
there might be something there too. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see them working with the metal stuff. Making things as simple as a horseshoe or something as elaborate as what you were describing there with the
yes, yeah. And then there's ladies, well, not always ladies, but generally ladies working with textiles too, and that's always so impressive as someone who's just not good at those kind of things. I always love seeing that.
And then I always ask it for some strange or odd questions. And one of them is Stephen Mack, of course, ran a bustling trading post right where the Pecatonica and Rock Rivers meet. What's the weirdest item listed in the historic ledgers that someone tried to barter with? And how would that trade pitch sound today? Have you heard of anything that people tried to barter with Stephen Mack back in the day that...
I have not. I'm sure there are records of that. We do have some records of what was held in the store. I'm not as thoroughly versed on those, but gosh, I'm sure there were some crazy things.
Okay. All right. And the final question I want to ask you today, Stephanie, let's be real. Life in the 1830s on the Illinois frontier was not all romance and scenic river views. If you were suddenly zapped back in time to live at Macktown for just a day, 24 hours, what's the first modern convenience or food item you would break down crying for?
I think indoor plumbing. I need a shower. I want a shower. I want a hot bath. I'm not going in that river.
I was going to say a Big Mac and fries.
That too,
Yeah.
I would have to believe that the river in the 1830s was a lot cleaner than it is today. So there's that. I could probably live a day without air conditioning if it was a summer of 1830 or something like that. Gosh, what would I miss the most?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
The funny thing is, Mississippi got its name from the Rock River because it means in Native American, it means flowing. And that's how Mississippi got its name, because the Rock River was clear flowing. Although, give it another, 30 years or so to the 1860s, 1870s, when we started dumping toxic waste into the river. So I'm thinking in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 1900s, it was probably as bad as it's ever been. And then we've kind of cleaned it, maybe, I guess. I don't know. It is pretty brown.
When did the Industrial Revolution get bad?
EPA rules in place then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. We didn't even have EPA laws until probably the 40s or 50s, I think. So.
Well,
yeah.
There's a lot of fun things to check out there. And as we mentioned, the next thing it looks like on your calendar as far as events go is this Lincoln and Liberty.
The Stephen mac and cheese cook-off.
The mac and cheese cook-off.
September 13th. Yep. And then Lincoln and Liberty. So both fun events. And then we also do a really fun Christmas event, December 6th this year. And then a lot of the times we'll have horse and carriages. I'm not sure if that's locked in this year, but we've done it the past couple of years and it's so beautiful. Such a fun thing.
Nice. Well, check out.
I got a silly, I'm so sorry. I hate this. I get a silly question. Greg, if you go back up a little bit or down or whatever, that way, there's a picture, other way.
Go back to the website here.
Well, there's a picture of what looks like Andrew Jackson, and I don't know if that's Andrew Jackson or if it's Stephen Mack, and it just looks a lot like Andrew. It's not when you go to the YouTube.
It's Andrew Jackson.
Now all you needed to do is scroll.
Yeah.
Scroll up. It is Andrew Jackson. Okay,
So
I was wondering if that might have been Stephen Mack.
So that
no, it's okay
so
now.
we actually it's Andrew Jackson. Because in that video it discusses Andrew Jackson's things that he put into place when he was trying to kind of, I would say, like pacify the native peoples as they were taking land, and then giving back some land allotments to Native Americans. So via Stephen Mack Jr.'s marriage with Hananiga, they were able to purchase a lot of the land for Macktown.
Gotcha. Thank you for the clarification, because I thought, oh my God, if that's Stephen Mack, then that's a spitting image doppelganger there. So yeah. Okay, my assumptions were correct. Okay.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you spending time with us today to share all things Macktown living history. And is there anything we did not ask you about that you wanted to make sure we share before we let you go?
I don't think so. I think we pretty much touched on everything. We touched on the history and the events. And if anyone is looking to volunteer, please reach out. We're always looking for more volunteers. I think that's it.
All right. Good deal. Well, we will keep us in the loop for any upcoming events. And obviously we want to keep sharing that on InCrowd 815 on our podcast page and our networking group page too, about all the things you got going on. Hopefully we would love to have a team playing for Macktown Living History at our next Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest. So if anyone wants to get that organized for them, get a team organized.
Yes,
so you can have up to 8 people playing on your team. Only one of them has to sing. You don't have to have the whole team singing. It can just be one person or a duet or a trio.
Yeah,
Stephanie, I'll bet you
so
have a
much
good
fun.
singing
I always
voice.
think those look like a blast.
Yeah, I bet you have a good singing voice.
So my husband and I do karaoke. We actually met at, if you're familiar with the Rockford region, the Rue Marche.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
karaoke bar.
Right down there on Market Street.
Yes. So, we just need a couple more members on our team.
There you go.
We'll handle the karaoke. You don't even have to worry about it.
What is your go-to song that you guys sing together for karaoke?
We sing Jackson by Johnny Cash and June Carter.
Yeah, I'm going to Jackson.
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
Nice.
That's all right.
Fun.
Yes, it's so much fun.
All right. We look forward to hearing you sing.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for having me.
All right. You have a good weekend.
You too. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good show. Let's wrap things up with our big number of
Okay, but
the
before
week.
you do that, 1 second. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold up one finger, and I want you to tell me immediately when I hold up the finger and when I am now holding up a finger. And I want to find if the delay is just with them or if it's just or if it's with you as well. Okay. How am I going to do this? You tell me. Yeah. Holding up a finger now. Now it's down.
1.
Oh, okay. So there is a slight delay still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's still
so
a good
about
3 to 5 seconds.
For there it's like 2, but it's like 4 or 5 with guests. I don't understand why it's doing that. I'm gonna have to go into the computer. Maybe I've got it on some sort of a delay or whatever, because it's a pretty good computer here. It's the one I'm using for trivia, and it hasn't failed me yet. So
well, we'll see what we can do.
I know that we don't have a lot of time. I don't remember. Yeah, I know we don't have a lot of time, so we can't really talk Packer football. But we need to put aside a little bit of time for it. And since training camp starts this week, maybe next Sunday, Saturday, we can throw in a little, 15 minutes of Packer talk.
Next week would be a good week to do that. So let's plan on that. Next week, we're going to be chatting with the Ken Rock Community Center. At least that's the plan. Hopefully we can still get them on Ken Rock Community Center next week on The In Crowd 815 podcast. Big number of the week, 14,103. Does it have something to do with Titanic or tent poles? You gave me your guess, and I'm changing the score now and telling you that the Marine War Risk Insurance Company, known as Lloyd's. Remember Lloyd's?
Lloyd's of London? It's the only Lloyd's I know.
Lloyd's of London. They've been in business for over 300 years at its London headquarters, not far from the 17th century coffee house that it was founded in. The underwriters handle about 10% of the world's marine insurance and about 33% of the war risk coverage. This, according to the New York Times. Today, that includes ships traveling through the Strait of Hormuz, which premiums for that have soared since the start of that war, obviously. Fortunately, as of June, none had made it into the company's storied loss books. They have these big books called loss books that date back to 1774. And of course, it has a 1912 entry for that big boat, the Titanic. That was insured by Lloyd's of London. So congratulations. You guessed tent poles, and you're getting the point. There's a new Guinness Book of World Record holder for the largest blanket fort. It's in Vegas. Surprise, surprise. Local residents and high school students in Las Vegas, Nevada, they built a blanket fort that measured 14,103 square feet. It was designed by engineering students that included hundreds of sheets, bed sheets like you do in your own house in your living room. As you built a blanket fort as a kid, right?
Well, when my wife gets mad at me, that's where I sleep.
we usually propped ours up with the chairs, the backs of chairs and stuff, but you might use tent poles or ropes or pipes or binder clips. And after an inspection by an official Guinness educator, it ensured that the tent fulfilled all the requirements, including allowing a person to sit comfortably inside. The 14,103 square foot fort has been deemed the Guinness Book of World Records holder for the largest blanket fort.
Making my comeback.
Can you remember when it was 4-0? I don't remember that. That was a long time.
I do. It was so painful. I was trying to throw it on that fifth one. I was literally trying to guess wrong. And
I know you were, and it changed your fortunes. That's what changed your fortunes right there.
Coming for you.
As far as shout outs this week, I didn't write any down, but I do want to make a couple of them real quick. We had Stephanie on, whose employer is the Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum and Gardens, had their annual ice cream social last Sunday, and my wife and I volunteered at that, giving mini tours of the cottage. Kudos to them for another great event. Kudos to Iverson Painting for hosting their annual appreciation picnic at the Rivets game last Sunday afternoon. That was a lot of fun as well. The World Baseball, Women's World Cup Baseball started this week, and I got to go and help with that on Thursday night and watch the USA beat Mexico. I think the final score is 25-5. It was brutal.
Wow.
That second inning, the USA put up 13 runs, and before the second inning ended, I think Mexico had used 5 or 6 different pitchers. It was rough. Last night's game, the U.S. and Australia, was a little tighter. It ended up being 10-5. So the only team right now that I think USA has to worry about is Canada. Canada, I believe, is still unbeaten, and they're looking pretty good too. They've got some good pitchers. That game, I believe, is tonight, 7:00 at Rivet Stadium.
Oh, that is awesome. I may go to that. At Rivet Stadium, huh?
Rivet Stadium.
Okay, because my son Matthew took the boys on a bike down to Sports Corps where they were playing some of the earlier games, and I said, "Oh, dude, I wish you would have said something. I would have went with you." But anyway, so I'm kind of dying to go see it. What's it cost to get in? Do you know?
I think it's $10. There's a game at 11 and a game at 3, and then the USA team plays at 7. And there's also tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day of the tournament with games at 11, 3, and 7. There are 6 teams playing in the tournament. So each team plays all the other teams once. So it's a 5-day tournament. And the USA being the host country, they get the prime time game at 7 o'clock every night. All the other teams have to shuffle around a little bit. So there's your home field advantage, if you will.
So tomorrow night is the winning game, right? But the USA
no tomorrow night. No, they play every day. It's not a round robin tournament. It's every team plays every other team. So it's 6 teams, 5 days. So it's every team plays 5 games.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, honestly, just being honest, the team that USA plays tomorrow night is Hong Kong, and I don't know how well Hong Kong's been playing.
When do they play Canada? Is that tonight?
Tonight at 7. Yep, Saturday night. Tonight at 7.
So, given what has happened in the Olympics, we won men's, women's, and the Paralympics gold, beating Canada all 3 times. And then and we beat Canada
in hockey?
No, in hockey, yes, for the Winter Olympics. And then we beat Canada in something else too, didn't we? I don't remember, but poor Canada, they can't buy a victory. So it'd be poetic justice if we win again.
We'll see. Like I said, Canada's got some good pitching, so it should be a good game tonight. There's been the first couple of days there was a lot of blowouts, and so the mercy rule is after 5 innings, if it's 10 or more runs, the game's over. 10 or more run lead. So. That's been the mercy rule has been in effect pretty much nearly every game until last night. So today should be better, and tonight should be probably the game of the week. USA versus Canada, 7 o'clock at Rivet Stadium. So kudos to them putting on such a great event at Rivet Stadium. And then one last shout out, Starlight Theater. Last chance to see Something Rotten is tonight at 8, and then tomorrow night at 7:30. It's hilarious if you think Shakespeare's goofy, and if you think you can't make Shakespeare funny and goofy, think again. This is a very funny, goofy take on Shakespeare. Not to give too much away, but the story is around 2 brothers who are competing with Shakespeare, trying to put plays on in that time period. And they're trying to come up with an idea that will compete. They want to compete with Shakespeare, and someone tells them they should do a musical, and that musical had never been done before. And of course, the musical that they're told to do should be called Omelette instead of Hamlet, which is there's comedy there. Trust me. Trust me. There's a lot of comedy.
That's it. I have one shout out.
So check it out. All righty.
And it's kind of a negative shout out. I'm watching Fox the other night. I was watching Gutfeld. I love Gutfeld. And Molly Hemingway was on, and she made a comment, and she was spot on, and I wish everybody could hear what she had to say. She was going off on these people that sit in a restaurant or in a gas station or where they are with their speaker phones on, and they're having a conversation.
Why do you do that?
And my God. And you know what? You don't know the other person, so you don't know what kind of reaction you're going to get if you go up and say, hey, you know what? I can hear your phone. I was in the McDonald's the other day, and he was not old, but he was older, having a conversation with his girlfriend or his wife, I don't know, and I wanted to go sit right next to him and crank up some AC/DC on my phone. Say, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What were you saying? Brian Johnson's a little loud, don't you think?
Maybe stand next to him and say, why are you buying that car? Just enter the conversation and start saying ridiculous things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Doing my ABCs backwards. ZYXWD or TSRQB. No. Okay. I can backwards, Anyway, it's my one claim to fame. I can bark like a dog.
I think what you're telling me, Tom, is if someone is having a conversation on their speakerphone in public, they're basically inviting anyone to join the conversation. So feel free.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is sometimes they're watching TV and you're hearing laughter, and you're hearing this and that, and it's very disruptive, and it's generally rude. And she was right. And oh my God, yes. You often hear people complain about it just because it doesn't happen that often, but when it does, I just want to go up to them, grab their phone, and throw it on the ground. I won't do that ever. I wouldn't do that.
Don't do
It's
that.
nice to think about. No.
Just
Anyway,
enter the conversation.
Yeah. I was going to say, go Packers. Maybe we could talk some Packer football next week. Dude, I'm telling you, I'll just leave you one thing. I am telling you, the more I watch the groundwork, the groundwork that Jonathan Gannon is laying, the learning that I think Matt LaFleur is doing, the presence of Jordan Love, the ability for Tucker Kraft to come back for week 1, and maybe Micah Parsons week 5, 6, or 7, or whatever. This team is going to be very good.
I think so too.
I'm going on record
I think so
right now.
too.
Green Bay's going to win the division. Chicago's going to take second. Detroit takes third, and Minnesota takes fourth. Sorry,
Minnesota.
Sorry, Sue.
Sorry, Sue.
Yeah, sorry. I hope she's not offended by that.
My only question is, will all NFC North teams have winning records again this year, or will Minnesota slip enough where they actually end up with a losing record? That would be the over-under on Minnesota Viking wins, 8.5. I'm probably going to take the under. I think I might take the under this year.
I think I would too, and I think I would also take real close to the 8.5 on Detroit as well. I really do believe Detroit, Minnesota. But here's what's going to happen, and I know we didn't want to really get into this. You've got stuff to do. That's fine. But Detroit is not as good as they were. Their window's done. I believe their window's done because Dan Campbell is not a good coach. He's a great motivator. He's a good rah-rah guy. We're going to bite their kneecaps and, this and that. Great rah-rah guy. But to the brains of that team was Ben Johnson. And that's why you saw Chicago with a 12-5 record last year and winning all those games. But I'll tell you this about Chicago. Right. It's not going to happen this year. Not the way it happened last year. You will not get 33 takeaways. They were a plus 24 on takeaway. A plus 33 on takeaways. And they had like 24 interceptions and recoveries or something like that. It was amazing. It was 33 of them. Whatever it was 33 takeaways is what they had. So that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It can't. Because their defense didn't get any better. In fact, they lost a couple guys. So, and they had a couple of guys in the offensive. I want to say somebody left. I don't remember who it was. One of their running backs left. And then DeAndre Swift, maybe? I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But somebody on the offense left. They lost a key player. Maybe it was a lineman. I don't know. They're just not to be as good. I don't think I really believe.
We'll talk more about this next week. I do need to run. Next week again, we're going to be chatting with Ken Rock Community Center. So looking forward to that. Thanks to Stephanie from Macktown Living History and Sue Schroeder from Stepping Stones of Rockford joining us today. Remember, friends, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone today and every day this week. We'll meet you back here next week for another In Crowd 815 podcast. Goodbye, buddy. Have a good weekend.
See you later.
815 in crowd. 815 in crowd. 815 in crowd. 815. 815.